Hey guys, it's Alyssa and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, then I just post like miscellaneous content on this channel, and on my other channel, which is my main channel, I post music like covers, original songs, all that stuff. And I also wanted to mention that my debut album and its deluxe tracks are out on all streaming platforms, so go check that out, please. It would mean the world to me because I worked really hard on them and it's a really vulnerable side of me. I'm also working on new music, so that's that's like really exciting for me, at least. But if you're here, I assume that it's because you like to read and you want to hear about some really good book recommendations. So, starting with the first one, I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly. It reads like Perfectly Parvin, but it's called like Perfectly Pervin, something like that. But this is a book that it's like a good coming of age story. It has a lot of like diversity in it, and the main character is Irani, and so like it just like I'm a fan of books that include like cultural elements other than just like, just a stereotypical, just plain, white person. Like, there's nothing wrong with that, but like sometimes like when they pull in elements from like foreign cultures, it makes it kind of more interesting, and also makes like the parenting more relatable to somebody like me who is born of immigrant parents. It's also a really good romance story, want to mention. The next one is See You Yesterday. That one also really romantic. It's just, and I feel like it has a lot of good comedic relief. The next one is called Anna K, A Love Story, in parentheses. Like, honestly, I got that from my school library, and like I basically like gave my sister a breakdown of the whole plot because it's like a full novel, and she was like, where did you get this book? Because it's literally the most unhinged random story that somehow still ties together that I think I've ever read, honestly. It was a good book. It was just like it was literally so wild. And I got it from my school library. It was actually the first book that I got from that school library. So, yeah. The next one is called Chemical Hearts. So, I feel like this is a popular story. A lot of people do probably know this one, and there's also a movie based off of it, which I watched recently. But Chemical Hearts, it picks at it's a good coming of age story and a good like romance story, but it also attacks the idea of unrequited love, and not just something as simple as, oh, they just don't think you're interesting, but like one of the main characters has a genuine traumatic issue that they're working through, which makes them unable to love. And it's just a really good story, and something that this is like a little bit of a spoiler, but like I'm not going to say exactly what happened, but it wasn't like a typical happy ending story. That's all I'm going to say. And I feel like that makes it kind of more like realistic, honestly, because in life, unfortunately, things don't always end like so perfectly. Like, oh yeah, like me and this person end up together because we love each other so much. Like, it doesn't like always work like that, unfortunately. Next one is Me, Him, Them, and It. So this is a story that's about teen pregnancy. I just thought that was really interesting. The way that it ended up. Also, this story, it had so just like the last one that I mentioned, it's not like it had like a sad ending. It was still like a good ending, but it was like a realistic good ending. It wasn't like everything just fell perfectly into place, and so it was an enjoyable story. The next one I'm going to talk about is The Beauty of the Moment. So this is another one of those that has a lot of cultural, like foreign cultural elements, so that's why I enjoyed it. One of the main protagonists, she is from, I'm trying to remember, I think she was from Afghanistan, so I think that's the one she was from. But she she was from somewhere in like the Middle East, like that area, and then she moved to Canada, and I just found it interesting taking place in Canada because I'm like so used to reading books that take place in America since I live in America, but just reading that and like like the narrators talking about different places in Canada was definitely interesting. And it was a really good romance story with another ending which I feel like it was more realistic. Like it wasn't a perfect happy ending. And that's the thing is, as much as a happy ending is satisfying for the soul, it's also not always what realistically happens. And so like I like when a story can end on a good note, but like not a perfect note, if that makes sense. The second to last one is called What Kind of Girl? And the author's first name is Alyssa, like me. Honestly, this book is about, like, it tackles the topic of like domestic abuse or violence, or like, or well, not like relational violence and abuse, and it does it in, like, in a really interesting way. And if I say too much, like, I will spoil it, but like it also picks on like different stereotypes of different kinds of girls, and I just feel like it's just a really well written book. Also another ending that was just, it wasn't like it ended perfectly happily and everything was great, but it was still a good, hopeful ending. And the last one is Fat Angie. So this book, honestly, it was such an enjoyable read. Like, it tackled on so many different things. It tackled on like toxic parents, body shaming, romance, queer shaming, like just so many different things. And it was just a really it was a really good story. And I did figure out that there are actually two more stories, so it's like a trilogy. I haven't read the other two, but like it was just really enjoyable. And I think especially because of the way that the main love interest just accepted Angie, despite the fact that everybody else saw her as so unattractive because she's fat Angie. And it wasn't like a corny romance story. It was just like, I feel like the more I've been like venturing into new books, I've been finding things that are more realistic, and that's what makes them so enjoyable. Because it makes me think maybe I'll find whoever like the love interest is given that story. And so makes for a more enjoyable read. But I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Definitely check these books out. They're really like I enjoyed every single one of them. Some of them more than others. Like I feel like some ones worth mentioning that I think I enjoyed the most were Anna K, A Love Story, Fat Angie, and Perfectly Pervin. I feel like those three were they were really enjoyable. And like when I got to the end, I was like, wow, like what a good book. Like the other ones I did think they were good, but you know, those made like an impact on me. But I love you guys so much. I hope that you guys enjoyed this. Let me know if you want me to post more often, but as I said in like my last video, I am pretty busy with college and everything, but I will try my best. I love you guys, and I'm out.